Yo, welcome back to another flow vlog with your boy Isaiah from ProjectFlowRC. Guess where we're heading? Yeah, you guessed it. We're headed to the summer 2026 drift comp over at Adrenaline RC up in Chantilly, Virginia. Now this comp is always a banger. It's always a good time and a great experience. So if you're ever nearby, you definitely gotta check it out.
Made it.
Now I'll be here in and out throughout the vlog, so just stick with me and have a good time. Now you know I had to get some photo ops in front of their super detailed drift wall. Panda V1, V2, locked and loaded. We caught our host here checking out some interview action with one of our great community members up in Adrenaline RC.
Oh, there you go, Monica.
Open drift practice. Now this is a great time that you definitely want to show up early enough just to get a little track time in, scrub some tires. Also to just get the feel of the pace of everybody for the day. Now we traveled up from lower Virginia area with about 6 to 7 drivers to add to this influx of high performing guys here today. One of these guys is named Jason, driving that S13 that you'll see throughout the video. Here's that same guy that we just saw in the interview. I think he was rocking either his MC3 that day, or it might have been the Gong. Either or, he's a ripper in whatever he chooses. He's a new face to the scene. This guy's name is Raymond. He's actually a new component to the Sitting Sideways team over in North Carolina. Here's Delonte and his overdose Gong, getting around track and scrubbing some tires in. Got a quick flick of Cliff, who is actually the owner of High Sliding down in Yorktown, Virginia. He actually got around and did pretty good this day. Today is actually a double elimination bracket, so you have more than one chance to take a win or take a loss. The choice is yours, really. Here's Solly and Delonte going at it. Just trying to show each other the flow lines. Picking back up with Daniel, who's actually a newcomer to the Project Flow squad as well. Chasing down one of our locals, Cliff Lambright, in his BMW. I think he's actually rocking a YD2 chassis underneath that one. I want this. You know, you know. They always have some crazy bodies on display here. I swear every time I see one of these, they get taller and taller. That's a fact. I think this one's based off a Rhino Max chassis as well. Crazy unique.
On next three,
We're gonna get into qualifiers here, so I'm gonna be quiet and let y'all enjoy.
Getting into zone one, flicking into zone two, going out zone two nicely. Moving into the front zone two. Now coming into the infield. Much cleaner than the practice run through the reference zone. Filling out zone four nicely. Smooth transition into five. Filling out nicely.
Now I just couldn't keep my eyes off this top secret build behind me. It was paired up next to a Azada chassis, and I think both of them actually were Azada chassis, so crazy cool.
You're just going for your practice run right now? Yeah. Cool. All right.
Now, when you attend an event over here at a General RC for RC drift, competition-wise, you have an optional practice run and then one judged qualifying run. It's smart to take that practice. It was also key to wait on the host to give you the go-ahead to do the run.
All right, here we go. Coming into the infield now. Good line to the reference zone until about four. Now coming into five. Nice smooth run all the way through the zone. Barely missing the bonus flag. Catching zone one. Smoothing it out. Getting zone two perfectly. Clicking in front zone three now. Filling that out nicely. Now into the infield through the reference zone. Very smooth. Ooh, catching it through zone four. Now flicking into five. Good job, good job. Ready? Kyle on the next three.
I'll make sure you get one. So, make sure you get one.
I didn't hear it. I got you though.
All right. There we go. The bonus flag. Going out the barrier. Now will be in the straight line. Going out zone two. Now putting in for the front three. Very clean through three. Run a little shallow into the infield. Throwing out the reference zone nicely. Now into four. All right, coming down the front straight. Once again, catches the bonus flag. Flicking it around, going through zone one nicely. Really close to the red barrel, but keeps it in line. Now into zone two. Flowing through zone two nicely, into zone three. Smooth into the infield. Smooth through the reference zone, now into four. Nice and controlled. Flick into five. Well flicking in before the zone there. Good job. Here comes down the front straightaway. Looking at the flag, spinning it all the way around. Now into zone one, filling down nicely. Looking smoothly into zone two.
Finally catch a clip of myself actually doing a qualifying run here.
Smooth through three.
I'm actually using the Shibata GRK5R, not the HRP version,
Go through zone four.
but the OG.
Still down five. Isaiah looking like a local. All right, here we go. Down the first fairway once again.
Gabriel from Team Endless is always a stout driver on the track
Getting in the grass.
and definitely a contender for the top three at most events he
Now
attends.
coming into the infield. Looking through the reference zone. Smooth through four. Keeping it right off the white wall there. Now into five. Filling it out completely. Good job, good job. All right, here we go. Down the front straightaway once again. Coming into zone one, keeping it controlled and inside the rumble strip, filling it out nicely. Going through zone two now. Filling out zone two nicely now to the front three. Woo, ride the rumble strip. Flirting with it through to the reference zone, now into zone four. Put it right on the white wall there. Go!
El culo le hizo así.
All right, guys, that's our part. Here we go. Coming down first straightaway. D-car full bit of gap on chase car coming into zone one. Chase car cuts the corner, gets right back up. Good proximity coming into two. Flowing into three. Lead car trying to keep into zone three. Chase car still playing a little bit of catch up. Flipping it through the reference zone into zone four. Coming into zone five now. Keep it clean. Good job, guys. Back it back up. On this screen, but clip on the next screen. You got it. All right, here we go. Ratchet back up once again. Coming down into zone one. Flicking it in zone two. Smooth from both drivers. Good proximity from Chase coming into the infield. Little bounce from lead car coming into the infield, straightening out through the reference zone. Get the back going through zone four, flicking it into five. There's a clean run, guys.
Locked in.
All right, lead driver on the next screen, you have got it. All right, here we go. Coming down the first straightaway, first red. Lead driver tagging the flag on the way into zone one. Chase driver, good proximity coming into the infield into zone two. Coming now into three. Nice and smooth from both drivers if they do come into the actual infield now. Now into the reference zone. Smooth from both drivers. Chase driver has to play a little catch up. Flipping into zone four now. Good clean run for both drivers. All right, here we go. Down the first straightaway once again. The Ladybug Two is leading. Coming into zone one, now into zone two. Chase driver put it right on the score into zone two. Flipping it into three. Now coming into the reference zone. Nice and smooth from both drivers. Chase driver doing a little bit of a lunge into the fourth zone. Now coming into five. Coming down into zone one. Lead car coming into zone two. Looking at the same time.
Han been on the track.
Now coming into three. Coming into the infield now. Good lock for both cars. The chase car's doing a little bit out of shape going into zone four. Looking into five. Good clean run from both guys. Looks like my judges are ready. On the next screen, on you've got it. Alright, coming down here in zone one. Going out zone one nicely. Chase car, good proximity to lead car to come through zone two down into the front three. Chase car putting it right on the door. Lead car through the reference zone now into zone four. Really good proximity to zone four from Chase car. Moved from the lead car now coming through five. Good job, guys. All right, here we go. All right, coming down into zone one. Lead car's going a little bit out. Chase car falling right back up again. Gonna play a little bit of catch up, wait up on into zone two.
A quick little tip for myself too. If you plan on attending this track and attending a comp here with this layout line, don't sleep at the light. If you sleep at the light, you have a small chance, a small window to catch back up in the second zone. But other than that, you're going to catch up the rest of the time.
A little bit of bump from Chase driver, lead car sitting down, good reference zone to both cars. So that's zone four nicely, looking into five, good proximity from Chase car into zone five. All right, here we come down front straight. Looking down into zone one, going out zone one nicely with the lead car, Chase car, good proximity, going into zone two. Now going into zone three into the infield, good proximity to the lead car keeping the lead line all the way through. Good reference to the lead car, turning the end zone four. Going out zone five nicely, good job guys. All right, here we go. Coming down the straight, lead car flipping into the flag. Chase car sucks up right in through zone two. Little bounce from lead car on the grass into zone two, Chase car cuts up. Coming into zone three, lead car, nice and clean. Chase car, good proximity as it comes to the infield, coming through the reference zone. We'll bounce the lead car off the wall. Lead car spinning it in zone four, keeping it together just. Pace car with good proximity coming through zone 5. Flicking it into zone 2, good proximity from chase driver through zone 2. A little bounce off the ball from chase driver, keep it clean. Now coming into the infield, to the reference. Lead car pulling a bit of a gap through zone 3 or 4 into zone 5, flicking hard. Good proximity from chase driver catching up there. Good job, guys. Good job. Here we go. All right, once again, GPR flicking it into the flag, coming into zone 1, barely keeping it in, but super clean. Flicking around into zone 2, good proximity from chase driver. Now into zone 3, lead driver pulling a bit of a gap as they come into the infield. Now through zone 4, transitioning into 5. A little shallow from lead car, chase driver, good catch up there. Next one, Cody, you got it. All right, here we go. Comes down front straightaway. Pace driver playing a little bit of catch up already, but good clean line coming through zone 1 as they flick into 2. Good proximity from chase driver. Clean line from lead driver through zone 3 as they come into the infield. Flicking into the reference zone, into zone 4. Bouncing off the wall, but keeping it clean. Chase driver cutting around a little bit to keep up. But all right, here we go once again. Chase driver playing the door game, coming down into zone 1. Good transition into 2. Chase playing a little bit of catch up, but not bad. Coming into 3. Nice pursuit from both drivers as they enter the infield. Flicking into the reference zone here. Pace driver getting a little bit into lead driver. Lead driver spinning out a little bit to 4. Coming around, finishing out front. Here we go. Comes down the first flag. Flicking into zone 1. Lead car throwing it very shallow into zone 1. Pace car doing a good job catching up. Now coming into zone 2, flicking into 3.
So a question that a lot of the newcomers ask me is, at comps when the lead driver spins out or goes off track, do you stop and wait for them to come back on track, or do you just keep driving and go around them?
All right, here we go.
This is really depending on your judges and just the atmosphere of the event that you're at. Your judges and hosts should go ahead and discuss this during the driver's breakdown or driver's preview right before the comp even starts. But if you have the questions, then don't hesitate to ask, because that's what they're there for.
All right, here we go. Into zone 1. For the lead car coming into zone 1, good proximity. Good for the most part in 2. Pace car playing a little bit of catch up coming into the infield now. Lead car running a nice line through the reference and zone 4. Good transition for the both cars into zone 5. Good clean zoom out of there, catching the ball. Chase driver from a good angle into zone 2, catching right back up. Now into zone 3.
I'll be the first one to say this.
Good proximity from chase driver.
That lead car, that S13, is by far the cleanest body build.
Chase driver being patient, running it out. Good job, guys. Good job. Finish it out, man.
Hats off.
Come down into zone 2. Lead driver from zone 1. Chase driver coming into zone 2. Now we're going to zone 3. Good proximity from chase drivers starting up as they come into the infield. These are pulling a little bit of gap as they get to the ground zone. Now flipping into 5. Good clean run. Good job. Good job. Good job. There we go. Down into zone 1. Good proximity from chase drivers. Good tap from lead driver into zone 1. They enter zone 2. Chase driver has to play a little bit of catch up as they come into the infield in zone 3. Now coming into the infield, they start straightening out a little bit. Lead driver going through zone 3 and 4. Sorry, 4 and 5. Good proximity from chase driver, good line from lead driver as they throw into 3. Now into the infield. Clicking hard from lead driver as you go through the reference zone. A little bit of catch up from chase driver as you go through the zone. All right, here we go. All right, throwing down in zone one. Lead driver throwing it nice, flying through the one. Chase driver sucking right up to the doors. They're coming into two. Blowing into three. Good line from both cars. Coming through the reference zone now. Chase driver putting a little bit on the door. Lead driver, but that's all right. Just keep a speed line. Judges are ready. Looks like my drivers are racked up. All right, Solly on the next screen. You got it. All right, here we go. Coming down into the zone one. Good proximity from chase drivers. They come into zone one, flicking it into two. Put it right on the door. Good line from the lead driver. Flicking it through the reference zone. Good proximity to the chase driver. His lead driver puts it through the zone 4 and 5 cleanly. Good job, good job. I think you got it. All right, here we go. Lead driver throwing ankle right out of the gate as he comes to snacks the flag into zone 1. Chase driver right on the
Now I gotta apologize to Sully
nose on the door as they come through zone 2.
because I didn't get his lead runs like I'm supposed
They come
to.
through 3, filling out 3
But
nicely.
this was a controversial battle. There was some
All right, good proximity from chase
disputes
driver
on one
there.
end and none on the other
Filling
that
out
led
nicely.
to a
Job,
bunch
job,
of waiting
job.
around and a verdict of a one more time.
Now through 4 and 5, good proximity from chase driver, lead driver.
That's some fun topics we can get
All
into
right, let's go.
later down the road.
Looking it down into zone 1, good angle from lead driver, chase driver, good proximity. Little bobble from lead driver into 2, chase driver right on his tail. Good proximity from chase driver coming in the reference zone, good line from lead driver. All right, finishing it out strong. Good job, good job, guys. Good job. I'm down into zone 1 now. Purple on purple car, coming in zone 2. Almost a road rotation from lead driver. Chase driver does a good job checking up as they come into the infield through zone 3 smoothly. Put it through the reference zone now. Good proximity from chase driver. Good line from lead driver as they flick into zone 5. Good proximity all around. Good job, guys. Good job. Here we go. Come down into zone 1 once again. Deep angle from lead driver. Chase driver, good proximity. Come around through zone 2 now. Flowing into the front zone 3. Lead driver having a little bit of a bobble there. Flipping through the reference zone and getting into 4. Now into 5. Looking hard. Good job, guys. All right. On green, you got it. Next green, you got it. Lead driver. All right, here we go. Lead driver pulling a little bit of gap as they come into zone 1. Chase driver's trying to play catch up, getting a little overzealous there.
You hit that flag and that first flick just right. It was so
Into
satisfying.
the infield now. Good proximity for chase driver, good line from lead driver.
Hell yeah.
Flicking it around into zone 3, zone 5. All right, put on the next screen, you got it. All right. Here we go down the front straightaway once again. Good line from lead drive. Chase driver sucking right up on his door as they come through zone 1, transitioning into 2. Chase driver putting it right on. Keeping up the lead driver as they come through the infield. Flicking it around through the reference zone into 4.
Damn.
Good proximity for chase driver as the lead driver throws it hard into 5. Finishes. A good angle through zone 2 and 3. Now into the infield through the reference zone nicely. Good proximity from both drivers. Good angle from both drivers. Good job, good job.
quick glance at the bodies and some of the cars we brought up with us this time.
The Volkswagen one. That was the only MK1 TT.
Go. Comes down the front straight, lead driver turn angle, into center one nicely, chase driver, good proximity. Good angle and line into zone two from both drivers as they flow into three. A little bobble from chase driver on the wall. That's okay, he recovers and gets right back on the lead driver's door. Said you're not getting away so easily, coming into zone 4 and 5. Good proximity, putting it right on the door. Good line from the lead driver. Good job, good job, good job. Strong finish from both drivers. All right. Looks like my judges are ready. Looks like my drivers.
The boys are locked
Not this screen,
in.
but the next screen you got.
No emotion.
All right, here we go. Straight turn angle, wait for the flag. Bill Shallett, lead driver going into zone 1. Chase driver follows his line, closes up proximity into line zone 2 as they flow into 3. Now into the infield. Turns into the reference zone. Good angle from lead driver through zone 4, transitioning into 5. Chase driver right on his door. Finishing strong. Good job, good job, good job.
Now, sorry to say, this is like the only battle I really caught clips of, but hey, a line is a line. But I'm glad y'all sticked around and watched this far. So, stick around some more and find out who's on the podium. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around for that long episode of another RC Drift event with your Panda Bros over at ProjectFlowRC. This is your top 3 winners of the event. Big shout out to Clean RC, otherwise known as Isaiah. That's weird, I'm talking about myself. But thank you guys, for real, for taking your time out of your day just to watch an episode, an edit, a video, an experience that everybody should come out and try at Adrenaline RC. Even if you just come out for some open drift sessions, it's always a blast, and the community there is just great and always welcoming. Don't hesitate to reach out to us or them for anything you need for RC drift, and we should get you pointed in the right direction. Check out a water park. Reminder, the flow never stops.